The new Pokemon trailer has arrived, and with it we've gotten our first look at new version exclusive Pokemon, trainer customization, and the Pokemon Refresh feature. While it doesn't answer any of the mysteries from the previous weeks, these additions are all exciting in their own way. So let's bring out the old analysis machine to take a closer look and see what secrets and hidden details it can find. As always, first up are the new Pokemon. We begin with Passimian, the teamwork Pokemon, which is only available in Pokémon Sun. It's a fighting type with a new ability Receiver, which allows it to inherit the ability of an ally who faints in battle, making it potentially quite useful in double battles. Passimian are known to live in groups of 20 to 30, all following a single leader. It's up to the leader to choose those in the best condition to search for food. This troop's teamwork is so strong that the leader decides what mark they'll wear on their arms to help distinguish their members. The leaders also train the other Passimian to improve their coordination with each other and their skill in handling berries. But the training can be so intense that those who can't keep up will often run away. Throwing berries is how they attack as well, sometimes even working together to pass the berry back and forth in order to bewilder the enemy. It's not just hardened berries either, as they'll use the soft ones to obscure their enemy's vision. This teamwork dynamic applies to trainers as well. Passimian wants its trainer to be a leader and will watch him or her closely when they throw Pokeballs. If the trainer doesn't have good form, they won't listen at all. As an amusing little note, Passimian actually trips over its berry when fainting. That's quite the pratfall. While Passimian is exclusive to Sun, Oranguru can only be found in Pokemon Moon. Known as the Sage Pokemon, it's a normal and psychic type that can have either the ability Inner Focus, which prevents it from flinching, or Telepathy, which allows it to dodge allies' attacks, as we see during the trailer with Surf. We can also see from its battle scenes that it can likely be found in the same area as Passimian, which makes sense. Oranguru are solitary Pokemon by nature, living deep in forests. They don't often take action, preferring to position themselves high in trees in order to meditate. These habits caused people from long ago to believe that Oranguru were humans living in the forest, earning them the name the People of the Forest. Despite their solitary lives, they are quite kind by nature, providing medicine to injured Pokemon and food to the hungry. But they can sometimes be seen using items that only humans normally use, causing them to be quite hard to handle for many trainers. In fact, some have reported Oranguru using Pokeballs on their own. Usually though, they hold the handmade fan-like objects, which are made of layers of leaves bound together by Oranguru's own fur. Not much else is said about it except for the fact that it possesses a new move that only it can learn, Instruct. It allows Oranguru to force a selected Pokemon to perform its most recently used move again, immediately. We see this done effectively in the trailer during a double battle, making its partner use Surf twice in the same turn. Both Passimian and Oranguru seem more designed for double battles than typical single battles. Finally, we have the official reveal of Rockruff's evolution, Lycanroc, the wolf Pokemon. But it's unique in that it has two different forms depending on whether the game is Pokemon Sun or Moon. In Sun, it evolves into its midday form, where it can have either Keen Eye like Rockruff or Sand Rush, which boosts its speed stat during sandstorms. So why does it evolve into a midday form in Pokemon Sun? Well, according to the Pokemon website, it's due to the profuse amount of solar energy caused by Solgaleo's influence. This form of Lycanroc prefers to live by itself in mountains and deserts, not creating a pack. We see this in both the English and Japanese trailers. In the English version, Lycanroc can be found around the canyons of Pony Island, while the Japanese version shows the desert area of Ula Ula Island. Each Lycanroc has its own territory and will not interfere in another's, which helps keep the peace. When caught, they obey the trainer's orders dutifully. Interestingly, if a trainer accepted it during its more rebellious time as Rockruff, Lycanroc will never betray that trainer and become the most loyal of partners. The midday form is also well known for its speed that leaves many opponents in the dust. It dodges their attacks while retaliating with the sharp rocks of its mane. This form is also the only one that can learn Accelerock, which is guaranteed to strike first. Then there's the Midnight form of Lycanroc, said to evolve this way thanks to the abundance of lunar energy from Lunala's influence. There's not much said about its living habits. Instead, the Pokemon website focuses on its battle capabilities. It actually keeps both the Keen Eye and Vital Spirit abilities of Rockruff. In addition, this form of Lycanroc provokes opponents by pressing in hard and inviting their attack. If the enemy falls for this tactic and attacks, Lycanroc will counter with a single devastating blow that finishes it off. Fittingly enough, counter is the unique move that Lycanroc can learn in this form. The more powerful an opponent is, the more excited for battle Lycanroc becomes. It's obvious from its battle style, but it doesn't mind getting hurt if it means victory. These battles thrill Lycanroc so much that its eyes will glow. However, it will have contempt for its trainer if they give orders it doesn't agree with or try to force it to battle. But if a trainer can truly draw forth its power, then they'll feel a deep trust. But here's what we're curious about. At one point it was stated that Rockruff shared a trait with the starters. Could it be possible that these version exclusive forms is what this was referring to? Could the final evolution of Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio be different depending on which game you play? We're not sure, but it'd be a major change for the series. Now, while we've met new Pokemon in this trailer, it's the trainers who get the spotlight this time around thanks to the returning customization. We've known it's been back for a while, but this is our first real look at just how much can be tweaked. And as we thought in the previous analysis, the shops with the scissors on the sign are where you can go to change your hairstyle. Unfortunately, the angle of this scene is too narrow for us to determine what town this takes place in. We may not know where it is, but we get a good look at what we can do inside. From the dialogue, it's apparent that we can choose both the length and style of our hair, but the only list we see involves the color. There are only 4 shown, but the arrow at the bottom indicates that there are many more. Of course, just watching the trailer shows how many different colors can be chosen. The end result of this choice seems pretty standard, but the camera shift allows us to see more of the boutique, though nothing really stands out. It's in the Japanese trailer that we can see even more customization options for your trainer's hair. The first menu shows some of the female style options, including a bob, a short cut, a long and straight cut, a medium perm, and a long and wavy cut. Pretty normal so far, except the next option allows players to choose how long your bangs are. There are only 3 choices, but it goes to show just how different you can make yourself appear. The end result here shows us straight bangs with her hair tied back in a short cut. This is merely a cursory glance compared to the rest of the customization though. In the English trailer we see that we can spin the trainer around and even take pictures of how we look. We're not sure what can be done with those pictures though. Maybe they can be shared in the same way as the Pokefinder? Either way, the thing we're most curious about is the money shown, which is labeled Festival Coins. What are these used for? Well, we can't be positive of this, but based on how the trailer shows the same shirt, just in different colors, this may be how you purchase dyes. The Pokemon website states that you can change your clothes' color through dyes. It doesn't mention festival coins specifically, but this is the only reason we can think of for the different currency. We imagine different colored clothes can be bought at the store as well, but maybe festival coins are a cheaper alternative. We really don't know and could even see them having a completely different use. Otherwise, we see that eye color can be changed as well, thanks to contacts that can be bought. There are 7 different colors shown in the menu, but again, the arrow at the bottom indicates that there are many more to see. And then we have the clothing. First up is the male trainer wearing a red and white star shirt, a yellow and red hat, sunglasses, and a triangle-shaped backpack. Next is a pair of leaf print shorts that are reminiscent of camo, a shirt with Pikachu surfing on a rainbow, and normal glasses. Notably though, there's no hat, which we've seen in short clips before, but this outright confirms it. Switching over to the female trainer, we see that her first set of clothes are a major difference. She's wearing sandals, jean shorts, and a shirt with some kind of design on it. Looking closely, it almost resembles a toucan, but we can't be completely positive if it confirms this new kind of Pokemon, especially because this toucan looks so normal. It's another case of having to wait and see, but we do believe that this is a new Pokemon. Continuing with the rest of her outfit, we see that she has white hair and a massive twin tail and a flower in her hair. That's not what caught our attention though. Did you notice? She's wearing lipstick. It's much more obvious when you compare her to the standard look of the female trainer. Her lips are much more red. This could indicate that female trainers could use makeup. Now obviously we don't know how much or what kind of makeup will be available. It could just be limited to lipstick. But it's a fascinating addition that could indicate just how much customization is available in nearly every aspect of your trainer. The next look at the female trainer also has lipstick and is wearing a headband, green tinted sunglasses, a Gotharita shirt, frayed black jeans, striped socks, and shoes that have a pattern reminiscent of Giraffarieg, especially with the pink tips. As we'll continue to see, a lot of clothes use Pokemon for inspiration, and while the English trailer provides a taste of the clothing options, the Japanese trailer goes all out. The major difference between the two is how the Japanese trailer actually names the piece of clothing being swapped out, while the English version seemed to be showing off the final result. Because of this, we can see that the default female shirt is called the floral cut, and on the right side, the game notes what color it is. In this case, beige. Next is a V-neck t-shirt with black stripes, and then the Surfing Pikachu shirt. However, this also shows us that it only comes in this color since the text showing the color is gone. Officially, it's called the Surfing Tank Top. We finished the shirts with a white and gray striped holder top before she changes her shorts to a blue line flared skirt. The next pair of pants are described as light black denim, followed by some sporty hot pants. But the color of these hot pants is curious. It's listed as the Legend pattern. Considering their yellow hue, could this color be inspired by Solgaleo and maybe even exclusive to Pokémon Sun? We can't really see clothing becoming version exclusive though, so maybe both versions have colors akin to the legendaries. The last pair of pants shown here are the light black, damaged denim hot pants. It then shifts to the shoes, which are a pair of sports sneakers. Though the game doesn't mention it, these shoes seem to have a kind of Pikachu tail design along the side. But considering these descriptions didn't mention Surfing Pikachu, it's not that big of a surprise. It's more something for the players to notice. The last thing shown during this montage is the blue sporty bag. The trailer finishes off this look at the female trainer's fashion by showing 4 different examples of how they could dress. We can see more sandals, shoes, and stockings, both short and long. The camera pans up to show the pants, skirts, and shorts, as well as the various kinds of shirts, one of which has a Vivillon on it. As we reach the top, we can see the different hairstyles, hair colors, eye colors, and other accessories such as glasses and lipstick. It's quite clear which girls are wearing lipstick and which aren't, though we can't see any sign of other makeup. The male trainer gets less time in the fashion limelight. The only hairstyle we see him with in the boutique is a short blonde cut that subtly changes where his hair rests. It then goes into the same clothing montage as the female trainer as we see what he can wear. First up is the fact that his default shirt is called the casual striped t-shirt with a navy color. Next is the black striped button-up shirt before we move on to his pants. These are called the beige cropped pants. The last 2 selections are the black loafer shoes and a belt leather backpack colored orange. They finish off his look by removing his hat, again showing that it couldn't be done in X and Y. Like the girls, we also get 4 different examples of the male trainer's style. The shoes seem to either be loafers or sneakers, but 2 of them are the Pikachu shoes in different colors. The pants are either shorts or capris, with the bottom right being blue denim jeans that have been frayed. It's with the shirts that things get a little more interesting. The top left has a silly t-shirt with a fake tie print, while the top right is a stylized Alolan Marowak shirt meant to look like a skull and flaming crossbones. The bottom left is a simple pink polo shirt, while the bottom right is the familiar Alolan Executor t-shirt. The hairstyles don't seem that different, and none of them have longer hair. One has a thick pair of glasses, while the one below him is wearing a Pyukumuku-inspired hat. Unfortunately, based on this limited preview, it seems female trainers will have many more style options than the boys, and even an entirely new kind of customization. But there's still a chance we could see more choices in the future. In the meantime, we finally learn more about what we thought was Pokémon Ami, but it's something a little different. Pokémon Refresh, which allows you to groom your Pokémon. As we noticed in trailers from a while ago, Pokémon Refresh doesn't take place in a separate area. Instead, the grooming is done wherever you currently are in Alola, including a cave as we see with Alolan Vulpix. Essentially, Pokémon Refresh is the same as Pokémon Ami, except with one major difference. After battle, Pokémon will sometimes become dirty and need to be cleaned. The grooming is meant to do just that. Once you're in Pokémon Refresh, you can choose the Groom icon in the top right. This brings down a drawer-like tab from the top that shows the various tools available. From left to right, we have a pair of tweezers with a cotton ball doused with medicine, a Tyranitar comb, a washcloth, a brush, and a Porygon hair dryer. Each one has a specific purpose. First up is the Medicinal Swab, which we see is used to cure Spearow of poison and Eevee of paralysis. This brings up several questions. Can it cure all statuses? And does the trainer have this ability right away, which would negate the need for antidotes, paralyze heals, and full heals outside of battle? Could the swab be upgraded to heal burn and frozen conditions too? Or is it limited to these two common statuses? Obviously we don't know the answers, but this has some fascinating possibilities. Continuing on, we don't see the comb in action, but we have an idea of what it might do based on the others. So we'll come back to it and look at the washcloth instead, which we see used in the Japanese trailer to clean up Rowlet. And here's where it becomes interesting. According to the Pokemon website, after a battle, your Pokemon could end up dirty. Pokemon Refresh is how you clean them while making them more affectionate because you're taking good care of them. In the case of Rowlet, it may have been hit by something like Mud Shot or Mud Bomb to cover it in all that mud. Granted, it's a flying type, so it likely didn't get hit by those moves specifically, but this is just an example. Either way, that battle got Rowlet dirty, so we have to wash it off, and this will apply to any Pokemon of yours that got mud or dirt on it. The brush is used on Vulpix, and mainly seems to be used to get dust out of its fur. Perhaps the brush is simply there to get rid of all the dust kicked up from battle in general, rather than a specific move. This is in contrast to the scene with a Ranguru. Because it's all wet, we'd have to assume that it just battled a water Pokemon that used Water Gun, Bubble, or any number of water-based moves. So yeah, it's a little wet and would like to be dried off, hence the hairdryer. Now what about that comb? Well, we think it could be for getting rid of things stuck in a Pokemon's fur, like spikes or maybe even leech seed. It makes sense to us that the other grooming tools wouldn't be able to get the job done in those cases. That's just the grooming aspect of Pokemon Refresh though. While doing each of these things does earn hearts from the Pokemon, the rest of the mode is pretty similar to Pokemon Ami. As your Pokemon become more affectionate from grooming, feeding, and simply petting them, they'll battle harder for you. They'll avoid attacks and even hang on when on the verge of fainting, just like before. We can see some of the other options here as well. There are icons for the heart-shaped food, which are called Pokebeans, going back, and switching out Pokemon. There's no indication of minigames like with Pokemon Ami, but we suspect they're there since we need some way to earn Pokebeans. Each has a different color, and Pokemon will probably have their own favorites for you to figure out. Once you choose a bean, the icon changes to show that you can put it back. We can even see the Pokemon follow the food as you hover it around them. Finally, we see how we'll be able to pet our Pokemon. Nothing is too different about this, as each Pokemon has different spots that they like to have petted, though some are like Rowlet, who looks sad and afraid to be touched on top of its head, so it must like somewhere else. In Pikachu's case, you can even receive a little shock if you touch its cheeks. Curiously, it seems that if the Pokemon become too comfortable, they'll fall asleep and return to their Pokeball, which makes us wonder, would Pikachu still be asleep when you battle next time? We think so, since Pokemon Refresh is so closely tied to battling. Speaking of battles, we saw two more exclusive Z moves in action during the trailer. First up was Pikachu, whose Z pose features both it and the trainer imitating the shape of a lightning bolt with their motions before doing the same with the ears and cheeks. And Pikachu's cheeks even glow when they reach that point. But this dance wasn't just made for Sun and Moon. As pointed out to us by Jonathan Arbequez on Twitter, these moves come from a Pikachu Dance Party special. Talk about a cute nod. Once powered up, Pikachu jumps into the trainer's arms, providing us a slight look at the trainer's bag. It may just be a coincidence, but it kinda looks like a fruit slice. Either way, as the trainer holds Pikachu, she swings him back and tosses him high into the air to initiate the Z move, symbolized by a Pikachu tail with a lightning bolt going through it. The move is called Catastropika, and it then features Pikachu rolling up into an electric ball before launching himself like a missile at his opponent for some devastating damage. Eevee's Z move is a little different. The Z pose is pretty typical as the trainer makes the motion, that is until Eevee climbs on her head. It's simple as an Eevee tail, and the move is called the Extreme Evo Boost. Eevee calls out and its evolutions appear, granting it their power, which raises all of its stats by 2, making this the first non-attack based Z move. The question is, will there be others, or is this unique? And what standard moves will these Z moves require? We know that Snorlax needs Giga Impact in order to perform the Pulverizing Pancake, so it makes sense that Pikachu and Eevee need a certain move as well. While we don't know what those could be, the latest trailer for Pokémon Sun and Moon shows just how much more there is to see in Alola. How many different customization options will there be in the end? What other Pokémon will be version exclusive? Could more Pokémon have unique Z moves? There's still 2 months until the game is finally released, but we'll get more information on October 4th. Until then, let us know if we missed anything in the comments. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for more on Pokémon and other things gaming.